Welcome, everyone. We are live tonight. We are live tonight. And I'm just going to drop something in the chat on YouTube just to make sure that they can hear me. There you go. There you go. I trust that everyone had a great day today. I don't know what's happening with my camera on YouTube, but y'all will get past it. You see, this is technology, and like I said, I've never been all that savvy with tech. So you'll get used to it. But I trust that everybody had a phenomenal day today. It was productive for me. I was busy, let me tell you. But listen, tonight we are using Freedom for All. This is book 3 from Neville Goddard. Freedom for All. You'll notice that the key here, you see, we all come to the principles because we want something, right? And we always come with that. But then something happens to us partway through and we begin to change. So Neville always understood that meet humanity where they're at. Teach them how to get what they want. Because when you can be content as a human being, now you've got the time for spirituality. A hungry man won't find God. Not that he can't, but he's consumed with hunger for food. But if you notice, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, right thinking, shall be filled, right? So we all come to God because we're looking for something or someone, or we want to make a change. And so we learn how to do that. But in the learning of how to do that, we also learn about chapter 1, the oneness of God. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Hear, O Israel, hear, O man, made of the very substance of God. Oh, hear, O man, made of the very substance of God. You and God are one and undivided. Hmm. You and God are undivided. Right? You're one and undivided. So listen, don't get caught up in the fact that you're hearing scripture. Open the mind to understand what scripture is teaching you about you and the oneness of God. But let us carry on. Man, the world and all within it are conditioned states of the unconditioned one, God. You are this one. You are God conditioned as man. All that you believe God to be, you are. But you will never know this to be true until you stop claiming it of another and recognize this seeming other to be yourself. God and man, spirit and matter, the formless and the formed, the creator and the creation, the cause and the effect. Your Father and you are one. This one in whom all conditioned states live and move and have their being is your I am, your unconditioned consciousness. Hmm. Unconditioned consciousness is God, the one and only reality. By unconditioned consciousness is meant a sense of awareness, a sense of knowing that I am, apart from knowing who I am, the consciousness of being, divorced from that which I am conscious of being. So let me slide in there real quick. You know that you are, you know that you exist. And then you know that you exist as a man or as a woman. So you see, you always know that you exist. So that's what he's saying. The that I am, apart from knowing who I am, the consciousness of being, divorced from that which I am conscious of being. So you see, and this is what it is. He says, I am aware of being man, but I need not be man to be aware of being. I am aware of being man, not man as in male, but man as in human. I am aware of being man, but I need not be man to be aware of being. Before I became aware of being someone, I, unconditioned awareness, was aware of being. And this awareness does not depend upon being someone. I am self existent, unconditioned consciousness. I became aware of being someone, and I shall become aware of being someone other than this that I am now aware of being. But I am eternally aware of being, whether I am unconditioned formlessness or I am conditioned form. As the conditioned state, I, man, might forget who I am or where I am, but I cannot forget that I am. This knowing that I am, this awareness of being, is the only reality. This unconditioned consciousness, the I am, is that knowing reality in whom all conditioned states or conceptions of myself begin and end, but whichever remains the unknown knowing being when all the known ceases to be. All that I have ever believed myself to be, all that I now believe myself to be, and all that I shall ever believe myself to be are but attempts to know myself, the unknown, undefined reality. This unknown knowing one, or unconditioned consciousness, is my true being, the one and only reality. I am the unconditioned reality, conditioned as that which I believe myself to be. I am the believer, limited by my beliefs, the knower, defined by the known. The world is my conditioned consciousness objectified. That which I feel and believe to be true of myself is now projected in space as my world. The world, my mirrored self, ever bears witness of the state of consciousness in which I live. There's no chance or accident responsible for the things that happen to me or the environment in which I find myself. Nor is predestined fate the author of my fortunes or misfortunes. Innocence and guilt are mere words with no meaning to the law of consciousness, except as they reflect the state of consciousness itself. The consciousness of guilt calls forth condemnation. Oh, Angela, say that again. The consciousness of guilt calls forth condemnation. The consciousness of lack produces poverty. Man everlastingly objectifies the state of consciousness in which he abides. But he has somehow or other become confused in the interpretation of the law of cause and effect. He has forgotten that it is the inner state which is the cause of the outer manifestation, as within, so without. Correspondent. Oh, the second of the seven principles of Hermes Trismegistus. And in his forgetfulness, he believes that an outside God has his own particular reason for doing things, such reasons being beyond the comprehension of mere man. Or he believes that people are suffering because of past mistakes which have been forgotten by the conscious mind. Or again, that blind chance alone plays the part of God. One day, man will realize that his own I amness is the God he has been seeking throughout the ages, and that his own sense of awareness, his consciousness of being, is the one and only reality. You see, the most difficult thing for man to really grasp is this, that the I amness in himself is God. It is his true being or father state, the only state he can be sure of. The Son, his conception of himself, is an illusion. He always knows that he is, but that which he is an illusion created by himself, the Father, in an attempt at self definition. This discovery reveals that all that I have believed God to be, I am. This discovery, what discovery? The Son, his conception of himself, is an illusion. He always knows that he is. But that which he is an illusion created by himself, the Father, in an attempt at self definition. And this discovery reveals that all that I have believed God to be, I am. I am the resurrection and the life. John 11, verse 25, is a statement of fact, is a statement of fact concerning my consciousness. For my consciousness resurrects or makes visibly alive that which I am conscious of being. I am the door, John 10, verse 2, John 10, verse 7, and John 10, verse 9. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, John 10, verse 8. And it shows me that my consciousness is the one and only entrance into the world of expression, that by assuming the consciousness of being or possessing the thing which I desire to be or possess, is the only way by which I can become it or possess it. That any attempt to express this desirable state in ways other than by assuming the consciousness of being or possessing it is to be robbed of the joy of expression and possession. I am the beginning and the end. Revelations 1, verse 8, and Revelations 22, verse 13. It reveals my consciousness as the cause of the birth and death of all expression. I am hath sent me. Exodus 3, verse 14. Pardon me. Exodus 3, verse 14 reveals my consciousness to be the Lord, which sends me into the world in the image and likeness of that which I am conscious of being, to live in a world composed of all that I am conscious of. I am the Lord, and there is no God beside me. Isaiah 45, verse 5. It declares my consciousness to be the one and only Lord, and beside my consciousness there is no God. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46, verse 10, means that I should still the mind and know that consciousness is God. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Exodus 20, verse 7, I am the Lord, that is my name. Isaiah 42, verse 8. Now that you have discovered your I am, your consciousness to be God, do not claim anything to be true of yourself that you would not claim to be true of God. For in defining yourself, you are defining God. That which you are conscious of being is that which you have named God. God and man are one. You and your Father are one. John 10, verse 30. Your unconditioned consciousness, or I am, and that which you are conscious of being, pardon me, are one. Every time it's time for bed, I yawn. The conceiver and the conception are one. Let me interject right there. The conceiver and the conception are one. The conceiver and the conception are one. The way we see this is with art. They thought about that piece of artwork. Well, they're one with their artwork. Hmm? But I digress. The conceiver and the conception are one. If your conception of yourself is less than that which you claim as true of God, you have robbed God. Philippians 2, verse 6. That's where it tells you that you've robbed God. If your conception of yourself is less than that which you claim as true of God, you have robbed God, the Father. Because you, the Son or conception, bear witness of the Father or conceiver. Do not take the magical name of God, I am, in vain, for you will not be held guiltless. Why not? Because you must express all that you claim yourself to be. This is why you do not take the name of God in vain. I am is the name of God. And you will not be held guiltless for that, not because you're being punished. Why though? Because you must express all that you claim yourself to be. Name God by consciously defining yourself as your highest ideal. Oh, Ash Co-Creations is in the house. Look, I couldn't get my camera to work. It got all mucked up somehow, and I don't know how to fix it. So I figured I'll just leave it. Anywho, chapter 2, the name of God. It cannot be stated too often that consciousness is the one and only reality. For this is the truth that sets man free. This is the foundation upon which the whole structure of biblical literature rests. The stories of the Bible are all mystical revelations written in an Eastern symbolism which reveals to the intuitive the secret of creation and the formula of escape. The Bible is man's attempt to express in words the cause and manner of creation. You see, man discovered that his consciousness was the cause or creator of his world. So he proceeded to tell the story of creation in a series of symbological stories known to us today as the Bible. To understand this greatest of books, you need a little intelligence and much intuition. Intelligence enough to enable you to read the book, and intuition enough to interpret and understand what you read. Well, you may ask, why was the Bible written symbolically? Why was it not written in a clear, simple style so that all who read it might understand it? To these questions, I reply that all men speak symbolically to that part of the world which differs from their own. The language of the West is clear to us of the West, but it is symbolic to the East and vice versa. An example of this can be found in the Easterner's instructions. If thine hand offend thee, cut it off. Mark 9, verse 43. He speaks of the hand, not as the hand of the body, but as any form of expression, and thereby he warns you to turn from that expression in your world which is offensive to you. At the same time, the man of the West would unintentionally mislead the man of the East by saying, well, this bank is on the rocks. For the expression on the rocks to the Westerner is equivalent to bankruptcy, while a rock to an Easterner is a symbol of faith and security. I will like him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Matthew 7, verse 24 and 25. To really understand the message of the Bible, you must bear in mind that it was written by the Eastern mind and therefore cannot be taken literally by those of the West. Biologically, There's no difference between the East and the West. Love and hate are the same. Hunger and thirst are the same. Ambition and desire are the same. But the technique of expression is vastly different. The first thing you must discover if you would unlock the secret of the Bible is the meaning of the symbolic name of the Creator, which is known to all as Jehovah. The word Jehovah is composed of the four Hebrew letters Jod, H, Vav, H. Let me put that in the chat on YouTube. There it is. YouTube, you've got it. Jod, H, Vav, H. The whole secret of creation is concealed within this name. The first letter, Jod, represents the absolute state or consciousness unconditioned, the sense of undefined awareness, that all inclusiveness out of which all creation or conditioned states of consciousness come. Hmm. The all is mind. In the terminology of today, Jod is I am or unconditioned consciousness. The second letter, H, He, represents the only begotten Son, a desire, an imaginary state. It symbolizes an idea, a defined subjective state or clarified mental picture. The third letter, Vau, V-A-U, symbolizes the act of unifying or joining the conceiver, Jod, the consciousness desiring to the conception, Huh, the state desired, so that the conceiver and the conception become one. Fixing a mental state, or consciously defining yourself as the state desired, impressing upon yourself the fact that you are now that which you imagined or conceived as your objective is the function of vow, VAU. It nails or joins the consciousness desiring to the thing desired. The cementing or joining process is accomplished subjectively by feeling the reality of that which is not yet objectified. The fourth letter, H, represents the objectifying of this subjective agreement. The Yod H vow makes man or the manifested world H in the image and likeness of itself, the subjective conscious state. So the function of the final He, is to objectively bear witness to the subjective state, Jod Ha Vow. Conditioned consciousness continually objectifies itself on the screen of space. The world is the image and likeness of the subjective conscious state which created it. You see, the visible world of itself can do nothing. It only bears record of its creator, the subjective state. It is the visible sun, bearing witness of the invisible Father, Son, and Mother, Yod Ha Vow, a holy trinity, which can only be seen when made visible as man or manifestations. The visible world of itself can do nothing. It only bears record of its creator. As within, so without. Your unconditioned consciousness, Jod, is your I am, which visualizes or imagines a desirable state and then becomes conscious of being that state, imagined, by feeling and believing itself to be the imagined state. The conscious union between you who desire and that which you desire to be. is made possible through the vow, or your capacity to feel and believe. Believing is simply living in the feeling of actually being the state imagined, by assuming the consciousness of being the state desired. The subjective state, symbolized as Jod Ha vow, then objectifies itself as H, thereby completing the mystery of the Creator's name and nature. Yod Ha vow Ha, Jehovah. Yod is to be aware. H is to be aware of something. Vow is to be aware as, or to be aware of being that which you were only aware of. The second H is your visible, objectified world. Jod is to be aware. I am. H is to be aware of something. I am hungry. I am cold. I am hot. I am happy. I am sad. Yod H. Vow is to be aware as, or to be aware of being that which you were only aware of. The second H is your visible, objectified world, which is made in the image and likeness of the Yod Ha vow, or that which you are aware of being. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Genesis 1, verse 26. Let us, Yod Ha vow, make the objective manifestation, H, in our image, the image of the subjective state. The world is the objectified likeness of the subjective conscious state in which consciousness abides. As within, so without. So what you say you are, you have to see the evidence of it. Because you can't be made a liar of, but I digress. This understanding that consciousness is the one and only reality is the foundation of the Bible. The stories of the Bible are attempts to reveal in symbolic language the secret of creation, as well as to show man the one formula to escape from all of his own creations. This is the true meaning of the name of Jehovah, the name by which all things are made and without which there is nothing made that is made. John 1, verse 3. First, you are aware. Then you become aware of something. And then you become aware as that which you were aware of. And then you behold objectively that which you are aware of being. Let me slow down and read that to you again. First, you are aware. Then you become aware of something. And then you become aware of the thing you were aware of. But then you experience that which you are aware of being. And we will end with chapter 3 tonight. You wouldn't believe what chapter 3 is called, but I'll tell you anyway. The law of creation. Ow. Let us take one of the stories of the Bible and see how the prophets and writers of old revealed the story of creation by this strange Eastern symbolism. We all know the story of Noah and the ark, that Noah was chosen to create a new world after the world was destroyed by the flood. The Bible tells us that Noah had three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis 6, verse 10. The first son is called Shem, which means name. Ham, the second son, means warm or alive. The third son is called Japheth, which means extension. You will observe that Noah and his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, contain the same formula of creation as does the divine name of Yod, Huh, Vav, Huh. Noah, the father, the conceiver, the builder of a new world, is equivalent to the Jod, or unconditioned consciousness, I am. Shem is your desire, that which you are conscious of, that which you name and define as your objective, and is equivalent to the second letter in the divine name, H. Ham is the warm, live state of feeling, which joins or binds together consciousness desiring and the thing desired, and is therefore equivalent to the third letter in the divine name, the vow. The last son, Japheth, means extension and is the extended or objectified state bearing witness of the subjective state and is equivalent to the last letter in the divine name. Huh. You are Noah, the knower, the creator. The first thing you beget is an idea, an urge, a desire, the word, or your firstborn son, Shem, which is name. Your second son, Ham, warm, alive, is the secret of feeling by which you are joined to your desire subjectively so that you, the conscious desiring, become conscious of being or possessing the thing desired. Your third son, Japheth, is the confirmation, the visible proof that you know the secret of creation. He is the extended or objectified state bearing witness of the invisible or subjective state in which you abide. In the story of Noah, it is recorded that Ham saw the secrets of his father. Genesis 9, verse 22. And because of his discovery, he was made to serve his brothers, Shem and Japheth. Genesis 9:25. Ham or feeling is the secret of the Father, your I am. For it is through feeling that the consciousness desiring is joined to the thing desired. Let me interject here for a moment. Let's talk about feeling. Feeling is the secret of the Father, your I am. But you see, sometimes we feelings. Feelings are, what does he say? Feelings are a confirmation. Let me find it because I don't want you to think he says your second son Ham, which is warm and alive, is the secret of feeling by which you are joined to your desire subjectively, so that you, the conscious desiring, become conscious of being or possessing the thing desired. Your third son, Japheth, is the confirmation, the physic or the visible proof that you know the secret of creation. So let's go back here. Feeling is the secret of the Father. You see, we feel naturally, don't we? If I say, Luther, you're going to feel a certain type of way. If I say, oh my God, you're like, awesome. You're going to feel a particular kind of way. Like if it's your birthday and people throw confetti and say, happy birthday to you, you feel a particular way. If your child says something off color, you feel the need to choke them, but you don't. I'm just saying, I'm just saying that the feelings are natural. So he says the conscious union or mystical marriage is made possible only through feeling. It is feeling which performs this heavenly union of father and son, Noah and Shem, unconditioned consciousness and conditioned consciousness. By performing this service, feeling automatically serves Japheth, the extended or expressed state. For there can be no objectified expression unless there is first a subjective impression. To feel the presence of the thing desired, to subjectively actualize a state by impressing upon yourself through feeling, a definite conscious state, is the secret of creation. Oh, Angela, can you tell me that secret again? To feel the presence of the thing desired, to subjectively actualize a state by impressing upon yourself through feeling a definite conscious state is the secret of creation. Your present objectified world is Japheth, which was made visible by Ham. Therefore, Ham serves his brothers Shem and Japheth. For without feeling, which is symbolized as Ham, the idea or thing desired, Shem, could not be made visible as Japheth. The ability to feel the unseen, the ability to actualize and make real a definite subjective state through the sense of feeling is the secret of creation. The secret by which the word or unseen desire is made visible, is made flesh. John 1, verse 14. And God calleth things that be not as though they were. Romans 4:17. Consciousness calls things that are not seen as though they were. And it does this by, first, defining itself as that which it desires to express. And second, by remaining within the defined state until the invisible becomes visible. Here is the perfect working of the law according to the story of Noah. This very moment you are aware of being. Oh, indeed you are. This awareness of being, this knowing that you are, is Noah, the creator. Now, with Noah's identity established as your own consciousness of being, name something that you would like to possess or express. Define some objective, which is Shem, and with your desire clearly defined, close your eyes and feel that you have it or are expressing it. Do not question how it can be done. Simply feel that you have it. Assume the attitude of mind that would be yours if you were already in possession of it so that you feel that it is done. Say it again, Angela. Assume the attitude of mind that would be yours if you were already in possession of it so that you feel that it is done. Feeling is the secret of creation. Be as wise as Ham and make this discovery that you too may have the joy of serving your brothers, Shem and Japheth, the joy of making the word or name flesh. Now, that was the end of chapter 3. Let me say this, and then we'll go into the silence because we remember how to do it, right? You and I are told to assume by way of feeling, right? Not everybody does it. Not everybody does it. Not deliberately. But here's what he's saying here. When you have a feeling, your body responds. For instance, if somebody comes along and scares you, adrenaline is released because you felt scared. Adrenaline was released. You see, the feeling is natural. You don't have to force the feeling. You just have to get a clear mental image. And once you get a clear mental image, let's put it into a little bit more perspective. Perhaps you were in love at one point, or maybe you still are in love. And the phone rings and it's your special someone. Your heart does this little pitter patter, your stomach does a little flip. You know, especially if it's under 3 months. You know, if it's new, still got that new car smell, that relationship, right? They call you, you hear their voice, and you do what? Feel. What do you feel? You feel how you feel about them in a way that you can't always put into words, but you feel what you feel about them. And it's just this feeling in your bosom, you know? You go somewhere and you say, "Oh, it doesn't feel good to be here." So, what are you compelled to do based upon that feeling? Leave. Are you not? Did you have to fake the feeling? No. The whole point of feeling is to tell you that feelings happen naturally. And they happen naturally because you and I are thinking about a particular something. And that particular something that we are thinking of triggers a feeling. Like if I were talking tonight about something not controversial, but essay, I can't say it because it's YouTube. If I was talking about some kind of a trauma, right? I'd have to give a trigger warning. Why would I have to give a trigger warning? Because the person who has experienced it, all they do is think about it again, and here come the feelings right up in their chest. You hear what I'm saying to you? So grasp it tonight. You and I are always feeling. So there's two ways that you and I are always feeling. We are always feeling because we're always feeling, or we are deliberately feeling. You are deliberately choosing how you want your body to respond, how you want to feel. Deliberately. Or you go through life and you're just like this. You know when you see those inflatables, they have the fan on and they're plugged in. Like car dealerships usually have them. These little uh they're poly, like a nylon, and you blow the wind up in them and their arms go back and forth like that. See, that's how we live when we don't know what to do with our feelings. We just live and they rule us. But when you are deliberate, you choose when to. I hope that makes sense for you. I truly do, because it is the feeling that is the secret, and we feel naturally, right? So, sorry, I just that image just popped into my head when it came about feelings, and that's what we do when we are deliberate. It means we think a deliberate thought, and the feeling that accompanies that deliberate thought happens. So tonight, as we go into the silence, what is your desire? I am not asking you if you think you are good enough for your desire. I'm not asking you if you have the right connections for your desire. I'm not asking you if you are a nepotism baby. I'm not asking you any of those things. I'm asking you one simple question. What you want? What do you want? Your desire and your objective are the same. Desire, objective, same word. So now here's the thing. If you say, I want money, how do you feel when you say that? Does your butt clench? Do you feel a little tense in your chest? Do you feel a little anxious? You see how you feel now? Feeling is a secret. So the way you feel will tell you how what kind of money you'll get. So now if you were thinking about love, love will keep us together. If you're thinking about love, how do you feel when you think about love? Oh no, love is not for me. No, child, there's no good men in the world. There aren't any good women in the world either. Love is so like overrated. Is that how you feel about love naturally? Hmm. So now that tells you what kind of love you'll get. But what if you have this feeling of carefree and you pull a Julie Andrews, the hills are alive with the sound of music, right? And you're all ecstatic and this feeling of joy accompanies you and you think of her. What do you think you will encounter in the outside world from people? That same ease and relaxation you will encounter on the outside. So the feeling always tells you what you will get. Let me say it again before we go into the silence, shall we? The feeling always tells you what you are going to get. So, hey, Sean. So, tonight, my beautiful friend, let us slide into the silence, knowing what our desire or our objective is. And as you hold that objective in your mental faculties, you can predict what you're going to get because you hold that mental image and the feeling just says, oh, yes. The feeling tells you how you truly feel, what you truly believe. So, my beautiful friends, tonight as we go into the silence, know what it is you want and have a very clear mental image of it. And when you have that clear mental image, you will have a feeling right here. That feeling is not pretend. That feeling is a true chemical response. That if you went to the doctor and you said, okay, draw my blood every time I'm angry, you'll begin to see the chemicals released in the blood. And now you go back to the doctor and say, draw my blood every time I'm calm. In the blood, you will see the chemical response to match your calm or to match your anger. So don't think that your feeling is invisible because it is not. It has a chemical cascade in your body because that's how you know what you're feeling. The chemical response happens in your body. It is not magic, it is not woo woo, it is cold, hard principle, cause and effect. So tonight, as you know what it is you desire, your objective, you see how it makes you feel? If what you want and how you feel are like this, then that's what you want. But if your desire, and what you feel are like this. They can't come together. Well, then it cannot materialize in your world. The two must become one. The feeling and that thought must become one. Now, let us go into the silence for 5 minutes. But Angela, what if my objective doesn't match? What you want to test yourself to do is find an objective that you already hold to be true and watch how your body responds to match that sensation, that feeling. That is how you do it. So that you will know, because you have to have a control group, right? When you do any kind of a hypothesis, you have the test group, but you have the control group. The control group is, you know what, I believe this. I love you. And you feel the warmth and the ooey gooey goodness of I love you. Because that's how you feel about that person. So now you have thought and feeling like this. So if at present what you want to express in the world and how you feel are opposing each other, just simply go into your mind's eye and find something that you hold to be true and allow that feeling to emerge of truth. And once you have that as your control, now you know what it feels like to have thought and feeling match. Let us go into the silence. There concludes our 5 minutes. I trust you understood things tonight and that they made some sense to you in this chapter. We will continue at let me tell you. Chapter 4, The Secret of Feeling. The Secret of Feeling. And that'll be tomorrow. So, my beautiful friends, rest well tonight. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Practice. Mwah. Much love to you. Much love.